Hey everyone, it's Sakura, and today I am doing my February spread for my bullet journal. And first we're gonna have a look at my January spread. I kind of wanted to film January, but at the same time I really wanted to make sure that my bullet journal would be something I'd stick to. So January was very much a trial run of me using this thing, and it was actually useful to me. It turned out really well, and I really like how I've set it up this time around. I started bullet journaling back in, I think, 2016, and something I forgot to do as I continued using the bullet journaling was to update it according to my lifestyle. When I started using it, my lifestyle was different, so I used it for different things, and as time progressed I forgot to update it. So what happened was that I simply stopped using it because it wasn't useful for me. So now I spent most of December actually just trying to figure out what my bullet journal should be useful for, and the biggest thing I found was that I wanted it to track all of my artistic and creative endeavors. So I have trackers for drawing, I have a brain dump page, I decided to make like a checklist for story writing, which is something I've always wanted to have in my bullet journal, just so that I can keep track of my progress and actually make progress. I skipped on the regular habit tracker. I used to have a huge habit tracker, and I have such a rigorous routine to my life now that I don't need it. I don't need to track all of that stuff. And a lot of those things I also track with apps on my phone, so I find it rather redundant to have it in two places. So for this new setup, I've abandoned the floral wreath I used to do for every month, and instead I'm going to do these small ink paintings, or ink drawings really, in a washi tape frame. And I hope to switch up the washi tape each month and the illustration slightly too each month. And one thing I've noticed compared to my old ones is that my penmanship, like my handwriting, has gotten much nicer, and I really like that, because I used to feel like my bullet journals were so friggin' ugly because I could not manage like the handwriting thing, and I hated it so much. But either I've become much more forgiving or I've gotten a little bit better. Either way, it makes me happy that it looks nicer. Another thing I've done is that I've started letting myself take up more space in the bullet journal. You can see how I left the left side open, like the left side is blank, and same with the first page where I did the drawing. I also left the left side open. And there's nothing that says I can't go back and use that page for like a collection or something later, but I like the look. It feels more spacious and not so cramped as it did before. Moving right along, I have started on my first weekly spread, and I've never done weekly spreads before. So this was actually interesting at the same time as it was daunting, because I think that's just a mindset though. I feel like I'm not using all of the page because I cram each day into such a tiny box. The way I used to do my bullet journal was that I would just write out each day as it was, and it would be a daily thing. So sometimes I'd get 10 days on one spread because I just didn't do much, and sometimes I would only fit like 4 or 5 because I had so much to do. But this way, the layout is much nicer, and I love having the calendar up in the corner because I get a better overview. I used to have to flip back to like the monthly page or the monthly calendar a lot before, just to have a look at like what week it was and stuff like that. So that has really, like, I love that part of the layout. I'm also going to change the weekly layout slightly for each month. As you can see, I had more confined boxes for January, and for February, I'm now using just like a half frame, and so far I really like the feel of it. To make my layouts a bit more, I don't know, exciting, I've decided to do every other spread a weekly, and then put all of my sort of trackers and things like that in between. So After the first week, I do my sort of creative spread where I have a tracker for what I'm drawing or writing each day, and then I have a half page for brain dumps. I don't do a lot of brain dumps though, so I don't want to leave an entire page for that. And then I have my writing progress tracker, which I really liked. I used it a lot for January. I filled out almost all 4, I think, and it was just really helpful to have that little thing to see where I was at, and it also helped me plan out each week what I wanted to get done creatively. Moving right along, we have the next weekly spread.
Men hej, vad är det? Ha? Vad är det? Ja?
Akta dig. Du ligger precis på bordskanten där. Är det kaffe? Ska du ha kaffe? Mm. Kan jag få dig? Kan jag få min bok bara? Tack. Nu ser jag, vi fortfarande i ramen, där vi. Doggo decided to kindly come in and help me with my bullet journaling for this second weekly spread. I am sorry for the flickering in this video. I didn't realize how much my dark shirt would affect like the exposure, I guess is what it's called. So whenever I pull my arm too far into the frame, it kind of flickers the light and like adjusts it. So for the next session, I'm definitely going to either go sleeveless or just wear a lighter shirt, because I think the dark background and then my bright book sort of just that is what makes it kind of go darker when I put a lot of my arm into the frame. But this is, I feel like maybe I should cut out, now that I'm looking at this, maybe in the future videos I should cut out like maybe 2 of the weekly spreads, because they're all the same. Between the second and the third weeklies, I put down my website update page, which I also liked, because that had me sort of thinking about the website and sort of considering what I could put on there quite a lot. An expenses tracker, because I've lost control and I need to look at what I'm actually buying and if I actually need what I'm buying. A whole page for my YouTube videos, just to have a tracker for that, and actually think about doing videos as well, because as we know, last year sort of ended in a disaster where I had no videos at all, and I feel like this has helped me though, because January's tracker was filled out and I used it. I used the tracker. That's the important part. It was useful. Third weekly spread. Yeah, I'm definitely cutting at least 2 spreads. I think it depends on how much I have to talk about as well. But I really like the spreads. I do. They're very useful. And the thing is, I kind of want to decorate the weekly spreads kind of with small doodles and stuff, but with how sort of compressed it already is, I feel like doing doodles is going to take up sort of space I need for writing. Then again, I don't think I've filled out a single day completely anyway, so what the hoo-ha. I could probably do with some doodles or stickers at least. Oh gosh. The washi tape closet. The washi... You better appreciate this. I spent... I think the entire video, you're watching 15 minutes, it was almost 4 hours. And the washi tape closet is at least 1.5 of those hours. You appreciate this. I stop motioned the tape part of this because Oh my gosh, I spent so much time on it. It looks beautiful. I love how it turned out, and it gives me a great overlook of all of the tapes I have, and I probably shouldn't buy more washi tapes, but hey, I like collecting them and they make me happy, so I'm going to. So yeah, you better appreciate this spread. I love it so much, and it took so long to make, and it turned out really good. Look, isn't it cute? Didn't it turn out cute? I love it so much. I've nicked most of my ideas, by the way, or most of my spreads. I've nicked the ideas from Pinterest. The washi tape closet is another idea I've nicked from Pinterest. There is so much beautiful stuff on Pinterest for bullet journaling. I can't believe I haven't looked at that earlier. But oh my gosh, that washi tape closet made me so happy when it was finally done. The process was tedious as all hell, but now I won't have to do it ever again. Now I only have to add new tape samples whenever I get a new tape. What was I thinking about? I was thinking about all of my collections and stuff I still haven't transferred. I had quite a few trackers and just list of collections like games to play, books to read, yada yada yada. But when I looked at those and compared them between my old bullet journals, they hadn't changed much. Like, I hadn't played any of the games and I hadn't read any of the books, so I felt that right now at least they would be rather redundant to have, since I wouldn't be using them and they'd just take up space. This spread that I'm working on now is a playlist or a music spread, so I'm making small I guess you could call it like iPhone screens. I'm going to glue in the album covers and then write down like the title of a song or the title of the album depending on what I listen to the most, and just see what music I listen to during February. I'm not sure how I'm going to track what I listen to though, because I listen to music at work every day. Like, we're allowed to wear our earphones and stuff like that at work because we work in a warehouse and we don't have to like talk to customers. So I'm wondering how I should track what I listen to, but I'm going to like do a check today or tomorrow over what music I listen to the most during the week, and then pick out like a song I really liked or something like that, and just see what this spread turns into, because it was kind of tedious to make and I really want to make use of it. Last weekly spread. Where was I when I stopped talking and started on the music thing? Collections. Yeah. I feel it redundant to add collections that I know I won't be using. So I'm trying to be really not minimalistic about it, but really think about like, will I actually have a use for this? Or is this just a list in this book because I want to have a list here? I do have a tracker for my biggest crochet project. It's back in January. The Tropical Delight Afghan. I have a tracker for that there. But I don't think I'll track any smaller projects like that. And as I said, collection lists, they're gonna have to wait until I know what I'll actually be using them. So I'm doing a quick flip through here of February before I start using it. It turned out good. I definitely want to work more on my handwriting. Not so much like bettering my actual handwriting, but working on like the penmanship and picking out fonts, so to speak, and using different ones and not stagnating using the same ones. Because I think that's another thing why I found my old bullet journals boring, because I just copy pasted month to month. It was never like I never changed it. So I'm trying to keep myself interested by switching it all up. Thank you, dog. Did you have to jump off the bed right at that moment? Either way, thank you so much for watching this. I hope you enjoyed. Do you bullet journal or do some other type of journaling? I'd love to hear about it, and I'd love if you shared, like, do you do it on Instagram or do you do videos? I'd love to see them. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you guys soon again. Until next time, keep on scribbling, friends. Bye!